Welcome to this explainer. Really quick before we jump in, I want to note that this summary was created using Notebook LM, but absolutely everything we're about to discuss is based entirely on actual, verified public sources. Today, we have a really fascinating roadmap ahead of us. We're going to unpack the critical convergence of massive cloud infrastructure scaling, the deployment of autonomous AI, and the advanced cybersecurity postures you need to protect it all.
Here's a quick look at our agenda for today. We'll be hitting 5 key areas: cloud infrastructure advances, AI infrastructure and orchestration, frontier AI and agents, securing the AI ecosystem, and finally, cybersecurity and quantum readiness. Let's just dive right in.
Starting off with Section 1, Cloud Infrastructure Advances.
It is so interesting to look at how the big three are prioritizing their infrastructure right now. AWS is going all in on zero-latency data movement. They're giving you real-time change data capture for Aurora DSQL straight to Kinesis. And get this, with absolutely zero performance tax on your transactional workloads. Azure, on the other hand, is heavily locking down the perimeter, bringing strict intra-ID-driven network isolation to event hubs. And Google? Well, they're just throwing raw, hardware-offloaded power at the problem. Their new C4N VMs utilize titanium offload silicon to hit a staggering 400 gigabits per second of network bandwidth, alongside 25 gigabytes per second of block storage throughput.
Moving right along to Section 2, AI infrastructure and orchestration. Now, raw compute is great, obviously, but orchestration, that literally changes the game. Take this concept of disaggregated prefill and decode, which is now generally available on Amazon SageMaker HyperPod. If you think about traditional setups, complex, long context requests can easily stall your concurrent token generation. But by isolating the compute-heavy prefill operations from the memory-bound decode phases and putting them onto dedicated GPU pools, SageMaker just entirely eliminates that resource contention. It intelligently routes your complex requests and allows you to scale your infrastructure completely independently. Flipping over to the software side of things, Microsoft's Agent Framework orchestration patterns have officially hit their 1.0 release, introducing what they call agentic orchestration. So what this does is give Python and .NET developers the ability to set up an autonomous manager agent. That manager handles all the multi-round planning, the execution, the dynamic replanning, while delegating the actual tasks to specialized sub-agents bound by safety guardrails. You get abstracted, goal-oriented orchestration right out of the box. But the really cool part is that it still maintains low-level composability for raw event streaming and edge routing, for when your ML engineers actually need to get their hands dirty under the hood.
And over in the Google ecosystem, their Gemini Enterprise AI Agent as a Service is now GA on the Google Cloud Marketplace. The absolute game changer here is how they are tackling unmanaged shadow AI. By relying on standardized cryptographically signed JWTs and strict agent-to-agent protocols defined by JSON agent cards, they're completely eliminating manual handshakes. Plus, they're using dynamic client registration, which ensures that third-party agents natively and securely integrate right into your enterprise identity providers.
Which brings us to Section 3, Frontier AI and Agents.
Okay, voice interaction just took a massive leap forward. OpenAI's new GPT-Live abandons those traditional, rigid, turn-based constraints for a true full duplex architecture. What that means is this model processes audio streams continuously and in parallel. It can literally listen and speak at the exact same time, handle mid-sentence interruptions completely fluidly, and make microsecond decisions on conversational pauses. Even more wild, it features an asynchronous back-channel handoff to GPT 5.5 for computationally heavy tasks like complex reasoning or web searches, all while keeping up a native, real-time voice conversation with you.
And OpenAI isn't stopping there. They are aggressively pushing into enterprise automation with ChatGPT Work. Powered by GPT 5.6, this unified desktop app essentially acts as a shadow employee. It leverages a feature literally called computer use to actively control your system. We're talking clicking, typing, moving files around. It can monitor Slack and Teams in the background via scheduled tasks, or even build web apps for you through natural language with their new interactive sites beta.
Of course, not to be outdone, Meta Super Intelligence Labs fired back with Muse Spark 1.1, bringing a massive 1 million token context window to the table. It features a hybrid interaction engine that seamlessly pivots between writing background automation scripts for pure speed or visually driving native UIs through direct clicks. It's even capable of multimodal closed-loop software engineering. That means it can autonomously take screenshots, identify visual rendering bugs, trace the faults, and actually implement the code fixes all on its own. It's wild.
So, you have these autonomous agents running background scripts. driving native UIs, continuously parsing audio streams, and writing code. It begs a very serious question for us as architects. Are your flat networks actually ready for the AI storm?
Let's talk about that in Section 4, Securing the AI Ecosystem.
Spoiler alert, for most organizations, the answer is a hard no. But fortunately, the newly published COS-AI AI Shared Responsibility Framework version 1.0 gives us a concrete 12-month playbook. It clearly divides security ownership across this incredibly complex AI supply chain, using a structured 5-layer model, going all the way from model builders down to the deploying organizations. The framework essentially forces you to assign exactly one accountable party for specific engineering challenges, especially when dealing with non-deterministic AI behavior, and it mandates simulating specific failure scenarios through structured tabletop exercises.
The Cloud Security Alliance is heavily echoing this urgency in their new guidance on preparing for the AI storm. They're warning that AI-accelerated vulnerability discovery and exploit development are fundamentally changing our defensive timelines. Flat networks and slow patching, they simply will not survive this. A phased approach to zero-trust segmentation is now a mandatory, immediate step. You absolutely have to reduce the blast radius, protect your critical assets, and exponentially increase the cost for any potential attackers.
Finally, let's look at Section 5, Cybersecurity and Quantum Readiness.
So NIST just dropped Special Publication 1326, which gives security leaders an implementation-ready framework for high-velocity supplier vetting. It standardizes core components like provenance tracking and checking for foreign ownership, control, or influence, also known as FOCI. By rigorously tracking hardware origins and software bills of materials, you can preemptively catch tampering or counterfeit risks long before a vendor ever even touches your network.
Looking a bit further over the horizon, AWS just put out a massive CISO guide for post-quantum cryptography mandates. The migration to PQC is a multi-year journey, right? But it starts today. You have to classify your cryptographic dependencies immediately into 3 buckets: what the cloud provider is going to auto-upgrade for you, what you own directly, and what simply must be replaced. And from there, you need to build automated continuous cryptographic telemetry pipelines so you can actually measure your coverage velocity.
As we've seen today, the convergence of shattered cloud I/O limits, full duplex AI agents, and this impending quantum shift really changes everything. Building permanent governance muscles and zero-trust segmentation is just no longer optional. It's the baseline for survival. So, I want to leave you with this final thought for your architectural planning. How will your architecture adapt when agentic AI outscales your perimeter and quantum computers break your legacy encryption?
Will your enterprise be the one orchestrating the AI, or will you be outpaced by it? It is a critical question we all have to answer. Thank you so much for joining this explainer. For more deep dives into cloud, security, and AI insights, make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel at Eyal Estrin. Keep learning, keep adapting, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.